So this is episode number 5 podcast of like updates. So I know it can get like kind of bizarre and stuff, and then like we have a couple like gangs here and there, and there's always like that one question of like why it's like me and the crossfiring of it, and not like the one that's like splitting the bread. So it goes like this, like with the one that's in my spot, we don't really try to create peace. We just try to notify the local citizens of locals. Now, if it seems like probably like a favoritism bar, it just they had the money on the spot. Now, like if I'm like a podcast file, and they give you the money, and you don't accept it, like it's like kind of weird, yeah. There's got to be like a reason why it hit like a double pay and not like one. It's like not enough. So we got a couple like sets. We got Asian boys, we got Tiny Rascals, we got MOD, we got like pretty much those three. And like if you go into a 4th degree burn, then I don't think that'll like work out. Like if you want like all of it, yeah, because like when you're in a set, you want all the money. Now, if you're like a tool where you memorize a file where you want to connect all of it to like probably like a minority of all of it, then it's like kind of weird. But anyways, if you're like from those three, I'm about to like segregate it, not like join it, because it's like not really joinable. Like you can join it if you're born into it or recruit of it or related to it, but you can't really like merge it. Like I know a lot of people hit it up on the kid bar, but like the ones that probably suffer the most of like damages and casualties is the one that's not really trying to have a kid. And then you're like, why doesn't it want to have a kid? It just want to start a family. Um, just like multiple reasons why they don't want a kid. Like can't afford it. Like my homie popped up talking about the cousin got shot up, or like the buzzins like got into it. These little things there. So like if you're like that one member, shout out to that one, yeah. Like thanks for like hanging in there and like knowing that you can flip the scale, but the scale will always flip back the other ways. And like if you're like asking me, then what is like my affiliation? My affiliation is like, just a color bar of like this shit. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Just when like I'm in like a mode or something, my like persona would just like change into like tech device. Yeah. So like if you're like paying for a specific device, then I think this would be like the voice that we are talking in, and not like the other one. So then you're like, wouldn't it be like a file? An example is like for my file, we don't like memorizing it. It's just like your genetics, right? And then, like I know that word is abused a lot, but like with circumstances of those environment, you kind of don't want to be that file when you end up in a new environment, because like most likely there's always a greeter, and like they'll like try to break bread with you. Now, like why would I break bread with like the op side or whatever? And it's like just survival. Like we don't want like to cause a commotion of like that one time, because that one time could have been like both of you for like a half of like smoke. Then the file who's listening is like, why not like save the one that of like what they were corrupting? Sorry, it's just kind of like difficult, but not really difficult. It's because like if you're like in that lifestyle, you still have to attempt it, because like you're like, oh, I like don't attempt it. I'm not like saying like attempt it but don't attempt it. It's just like it could change some stuff, you know? Like, the other file's probably thinking the same thing too. Like, you know, waiting for something to activate, then I'll, like, you know, I hit a reverse gear or something like that because it's, like, much easier than activating. Now you're like, oh, what happens to, like, the unborn child or something? I don't think I can lie, but I might have to do something with homeless activity because, like, I understand you, like, go to the hospital and, like, they have proper procedures for that, but, like, there's always that one file, you know, and that file has a family too. Now, if something's popping up, whatever, then she has to, like, ask questions, you know? And there's always, like, for, like, other sides of fields of, like, curriculums of, like, growing up something like that and then escaping it, but not actually escaping it. Like, just, you know, a field of, like, badge, like, you know, like, got my family good, we straight, like, you pop up and, like, I gotta defend. You know, that's, like, just a warning, you know? No. You're, like, probably, how did this file that's replying kind of, like, get away with something like that and, like, just, like, take all your, like, medals and stuff? And honestly, till, like,